This is the DLLS Stars post-game show as Dallas beats the Seattle Kraken tonight 3-2. We have Sean Shapiro, we have Craig Ludwig, we have Sam Nessler. I'm Owen Newkirk. Of course, our producer is Ryan. Don't put me on camera, Vaughters. As we are happy to be here tonight. It's late night. It's going to be Stars After Dark here in about 15 minutes, right around the time that Luds and I did the first ad break. But before we get to all that, let's talk about Black Friday, which is coming up on Friday. Imagine that. But you can have early access to all of the sales that DLS is offering for all of our merchandise if you are a diehard. Early access to the Black Friday sales. Diehards only, available now. If you haven't signed up yet, you can now get a free shirt for signing up for your first year as a DLS diehard, and then also get 30% off at least, if not up to 90% on all sorts of items. Great gifts for the holidays. And if you really want a very good deal and you like Luka Doncic, check out my shirt, because I decided tonight, I don't know if you can see it in that. There we go. Let's go full screen. Let's go full screen here. Luka Magic. That's right. I have two of them. They are highly discounted in the DLS merch store, and they look great. Plus, this one's green, so you can wear it like a Star shirt, but also troll the fact that the Mavericks don't have one of the best players they've ever had in their franchise history because their ex-GM decided to trade him to a team in the same conference. What a great idea that was. All right, but let's not open up wounds that may never heal. Guys, the Dallas Stars cannot seem to find a way to not pick up points on the road. They're extended their road point streak to 10 consecutive games. They're 7-0-3 away from American Airlines Center on the season. They are 7-4-1, they are 9-1-3 on the road. I was looking at the home record. And what's really crazy is their last road loss in regulation, October 18th against the St. Louis Blues. Now, look, every game is unique, and a one-off is definitely possible. But the way St. Louis is playing right now, the Stars have got to be shaking their heads going, how do we let that one get away? Heck of a performance. They looked like a team that had played the night before in a different time zone, and yet they still found a way to play from the lead. And I think that maybe for me stands out as the biggest thing is when you are playing with fatigue and the other team is rested, don't chase the game, right? Have them have to chase you. They got the lead. They were never trailed in this hockey game, and that, I think, was a big part of why they ended up getting the win tonight.
Yeah, I think that they not to say that they play a more conservative game, but they kind of keep it buttoned up a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't play a risky game, and you know that at the end of a road trip, played last night, your tank is a little bit low after the trip. So let's not create any more chasing back to our end of the rink than we have to, and let's keep numbers around in the game. And I thought Casey was good, and I know that a couple goals went in on him, and I'm sure Sean will talk about that. But but for the most part, I thought he was good. He did his job again on back-to-back when guys are a bit fatigued. And the other thing is I'll talk about. I mean, as soon as Mikko Rantanen comes back in the lineup, he just does things. He just creates. I mean, there was one play in particular. In fact, I thought he would have been more on the receiving end of it. And I think it was Montour. Kind of went into the corner. Was that because he was kind of leaning away? Leaning away. Montour is kind of more of the hunter, and Rantanen just kind of steps up and doesn't even. I don't even think he saw him coming, but he's like running into a semi. And so again, some of the plays that he made, and some of the passes he made, and set up a couple guys, great again.
Hey, Luds, what'd you think of Jamie Benn playing on that line with Mikko Rantanen and Wyatt Johnston tonight?
Oh, well, I think what it does, it gives Jamie a little jump. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm playing with the best guy as far as we're concerned on the planet right now. So I think he understands what his role is with that duo, I should say. He's a guy that's going to go to the front of the net, and as long as he doesn't have to play D, he's pretty good going that way. So now he had one time back there. That's probably the first time I've seen him play D in 16 years or 17 years, but. But no, I think he understands. Get the puck off my stick, get it to one of those two guys, get skating. And, you know, and I think what he can do well, very similar to what Tyler was doing when he played with Duchesne, is when Rantanen comes across that offensive blue line, if you see Wyatt ahead of you or whoever else is on that line, maybe you become the trailer a little bit. But for Jamie, it's more about direct lines. He only knows one place to go once he generally gets into the offensive zone, and it's to the front of the goaltender at the other end of the rink.
Sean, what do you think of the way this team is capable of managing a game like this, right? Being mature and not getting caught up in what they don't have and taking what the game is in front of them.
Yeah, well, and I said this to Luds right before we went on air. That's about as good of a game as that Kraken team can play. Like I think it's worth acknowledging that, right? The way that Seattle team is built, the way it's constructed, the way Lane Lambert is getting them to play, that's about as good as that Seattle team is going to play. And it's the reason that Seattle team will be a playoff team and they'll play some tight games in the spring. But it also showed you, like, let's think about that for a second. We're talking about a team that is right there in the running for one of the best in its division point-wise. We could talk about what the fairy tale ending is for all these teams is obviously much different. But when a team does that and you just play your game smart and you can win and control the pace and you can control the elements that control your own chaos and the way the Stars did, this is a mark of a very good hockey team. I think I think that's worth noting, because there's a lot of times when you win a 3-2 game or you win there are times in this league where you go and win games and the other team more so lost it than you won it, right? Like that happens quite often. I mean, I'm sure there's some folks in that, like the Stars definitely beat the piss out of the Edmonton Oilers 8-3 last night, but there's definitely some people who you could make the case, you know what, Stuart Skinner and the Oilers lost that game in the first period. Before tonight, the Kraken showed up. I thought we talked about Montour. We were texting about him. I think Brandon Montour is one of the most impactful players on the ice tonight, right? Like he was really
all over
really
the place.
Good, all over the place.
Honestly, Sean, both of their two big offensive defensemen, Montour and Dunn, were their most dangerous players. I thought Jared McCann for the first 5 minutes of the game looked like he was going to score a couple goals and be a headache. But after those early chances they had, what was it, on the power play? I think it was. Yeah, it was 2 power plays. He was pretty quiet after that.
And then also tonight, right? Like, not offensively, but I thought Matty Beniers was actually really good from about his red line back. Like I thought there's a lot of times where it's easy to compare. Whenever you watch Wyatt Johnston play a game against Matty Beniers, it's easy to hyper focus on both of them, right? Because they're within the same draft class. And so I naturally end up watching both of them when they play in the same game, because it's always fun to think about these are two players the same age and progress and Wyatt is details and the overall game for Wyatt are so impressive. And this is one of the better games I've seen from Matty Beniers from the defensive end of that two-way game. Obviously, there's the final third wasn't really there and everything like that. But I thought there was 2 or 3 plays I took notes of where coming back into the defensive zone, he either disrupted the zone entry, was the support, made the proper supporting play to break up a pass and did that. So you have that. You have the 2 defensemen you talked about. You have Joey Decord making a couple really sharp saves in this game. The glove save on Mikko Rantanen, the pad save on Wyatt Johnston. You've got a couple moments here where this Seattle team, like, I'm laying all this out and you're like, you know what? Yeah, you feel pretty good about yourself. The Stars were still the better hockey team and won by, it's not going to be the sexiest win of the season, but it's a win that is a bit of an underrated statement for me of, hey, when another team is bringing their best and we're managing this is better than them, that shows where you are in the league's, like the league's power rankings and things like that. And so that's the thing I'm taking away from this. And you know what? We go into Thanksgiving tomorrow. It's the thing you're supposed to be thankful for and everything like that. You wake up tomorrow morning feeling pretty good about where you are in Stars World. So that's my thoughts right now.
By the way, I think you meant to say Joey DeTurco.
Boy, does he play the puck well, huh?
When he came out and dumped it down himself on the penalty kill, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you guys, and I know, Owen, you did because you cut a couple of those clips. Sean, did you guys happen to hear, because you brought up Lane Lambert's name. Did you happen to hear his pregame or interview this morning? Did you, Sean, you guys hear that?
No, I didn't.
We ran out of time to play it though in the pregame show. I had a couple.
Yeah.
I was
ahead,
going to say, like, I listened at sometime today. I listened to it, and it was like, well, yeah, we're going to try to do this to them, and we're going to try to do that, and we're hoping that this doesn't happen, and we're going to have to be good at this. And I was getting as I was listening to it, I'm like, well, you're trying to find a way not to lose. That's what it sounded like to me. And maybe that's just what Dallas and Colorado do to other teams, and say, because they really put them back on their heels and things like that. So I was just surprised in his interview this morning. I was just curious if you guys heard it, but back to, I think he is flashy, and I don't know where he goes in his career and all this other kind of stuff, but he plays the puck well, man, and he could be another defenseman back there.
Hey guys, we have a pretty substantial super chat we've got to go to, because Talk Hockey with Me, aka our friend Jordan, she sent us a message, a Ritzkovian and 99 cup here. Very generous super chat. Nice. She says everyone is talking about the Avs right now because they blanked the Sharks again, which is well deserved, but there aren't enough people talking about what the Stars have done with their current roster and a lot of adversity. I love this team. Also, the new sweaters are fire. Go Stars. Jordan.
That's the way you want it. Let everybody talk about it.
Let us talk about them.
Let everybody talk about it. And, the other thing you look at tonight, the Stars game, it was important that they win this game, because I was looking at it. You don't win this game in Colorado, they're playing San Jose. You pretty much know that they're going to win that game. So now they can pull ahead by another couple. And then there's Minnesota, who's right behind you. And if you don't win this game, they're maybe only 2 points behind you. They win in overtime, I think, tonight.
Did they come back and win? They were losing by a couple goals early.
Yeah, they won in overtime. So
they can't stop winning.
Yeah, and they're only a couple. They could be 2 points behind.
Lutz, so is that 8 in a row?
8 and 1, and you got to stay ahead of another.
Is that an 8-game point streak? Is that 6 straight wins for the Wild? Does that sound right? They've been piling them up.
It is. And 6 straight wins, 8-1-1 in their last 10.
That's crazy. And the Stars have points in 16 of their last 18, and they haven't made up ground really on Colorado, but they also haven't lost ground. And Lud, you were talking about earlier on that. Sam, I want to ask you about special teams, because what Lud just said about Lane Lambert, I had a couple clips for him. One was about playing the Dallas Stars, where he talked about that. Another one was a really fascinating bit that I wanted to get to. We just didn't have time, where he was talking about how they were hoping to try to generate more shot volume, because they are not a high shot volume team. He said he thinks it's more mindset than just tactical, but there is a tactical component to it. But one thing I thought was going to be a big difference tonight, and it turned out not to be, was the Stars' second-ranked power play against the Kraken 30th-ranked penalty kill, and they stayed out of the box, whether you think that the refs swallowed the whistle for them or if they just were disciplined. Seattle did one thing. They took away giving the Stars 2 or 3 chances to score on the power play.
Yeah, they did. And it's a big way. I think that's a lot of times how you see these games go from whether it was 1-0, 2-1, whatever at the time, to giving Dallas the lead, right? And all of a sudden Dallas is up 3-1 and they can take control of the game. Seattle didn't allow them to do that. And then on the flip side, Dallas killed, 5? I think they killed all 5. That I didn't expect that necessarily.
5
either.
for 5 tonight,
right? I mean, their penalty kill, we got to give Dallas the credit for their penalty kill. I know it was a complete disaster to start the season, and they're still 24th or 23rd.
Yeah.
But lately they've started to put it together a little bit, and it's not complicating things. Like I think Razor pointed out Oscar Beck's closing down on Beniers in the slot at the end there in that last power play. It's those little plays that they weren't making before. Luds would say they're rolling out the red carpet, allowing them wide open spots, and they still do that here and there. They did it in, I think, Calgary, but it's limiting those more and more, and I've liked to see that. I think the special teams was not nearly as big as we thought it would be.
Sean, I know you want to ask Luds about the Stars penalty kill versus Seattle power play, so let's go and pick that up right on the other side of the ad break here on the DLS Stars postgame show.
With over 700 5-star reviews and an average rating of 4.9, Qualis Roofing is one of the most trusted names in roofing across North Texas and Austin. Homeowners and business owners alike consistently praise Qualis for their honesty, follow-through, and quality workmanship. Whether it's your home or your business, Qualis Roofing has you covered. Literally, They specialize in both residential and commercial roofing projects. Based right here in North Texas, Qualis isn't some storm-chasing fly-by-night crew. They're local, experienced, and committed to doing things the right way. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest assessments and quality work. Schedule a free roof inspection and get free DLLS shirt. Replace your roof with Qualis and choose between a free Blackstone grill or a Traeger smoker, because getting a new roof should come with a little extra sizzle. Aha. If your home was hit by recent storms, don't wait. Qualis offers free storm damage assessments and can help guide you through the insurance process. Qualis isn't just good at roofing, they're great at communication. You'll always know where your project stands and what to expect next. Visit QualisGC.com or just search Qualis Roofing and Construction. That's QUALIS, or call, here's Sam's favorite, 817-500-9008.
Thanks, Luds. And don't forget, tell Qualis that you heard about them on DLLS. Now, let's talk about Wild Fork Foods. It is probably getting a little late for Thanksgiving shopping, seeing as we are now into Thursday in Central Time by about a minute. But we still have to eat, and we still have to eat after Thanksgiving. So if you haven't already gotten your stuff from Wild Fork Foods, you should, because Wild Fork Foods meat and seafood market has everything you could think of. And it's not just about the protein, because they also have the entire meal. Incredible side dishes. They have mac and cheese, mashed potatoes. They've got your vegetables. And my favorite, Sean can very much attest to this from all of our days eating in the media meal room, especially in the AHL, desserts. They've got some great ones, including, I think their number one is a key lime pie that you can thaw probably within about an hour, that is supposed to knock your socks off. So we'll have to see if we can get Luds in on that at some point. He will love it. They blast freeze everything at Wild Fork Foods, which maintains freshness. And of course, I tried when I was there last week. They had one of their chefs making brisket and chimichurri outside skirt, and they were great. Locations in Plano, Frisco, North Richland Hills, Flower Mound, Wiley, Addison, Las Colinas, Prosper, near where I live in McKinney, and Louisville. Their organic grass-fed ground beef, 85% per pound, is just $5.60 each when you buy two. That's about the best deal I've seen out there. You've got to try them out at one of their 9 DFW locations. Learn more at wildforkfoods.com. Okay, special teams. Sean, you sent me a text and said, I got to ask Luds a question about the special teams, specifically Stars PK versus Kraken power play.
Yeah, because it's so Luds. We're looking at the Stars penalty kill goes 5 for 5, and I went through and I look at some of the other deeper numbers on it. So a sixth of this game is literally spent on the Seattle power play. 10 minutes of power play time. In those 10 minutes of power play time, Seattle gets just 4 shots through. I went and looked it up. They only attempted 11 shots in 10 minutes of power play time. They also only had, according to Natural Stat Trick, I don't know about Owen's high danger chances, but according to Natural Stat Trick, they had just 2 high danger chances, both during that first 4-minute stretch in the first period when Alexander Petrovic's in the box, right? So you're talking about a power play performance from Seattle that nets 10 minutes of game time, just 2 good chances. Obviously, when you look at how that kind of builds out, when you look at was this more of the Stars penalty kill limiting Seattle, or is this more of Seattle being inept at what they were trying to do? Like, how do you kind of look at when you look at that kind of 10-minute stretch for me that really defined one of the reasons the Stars won this game?
I'd say it's a little bit of both, but more of what Dallas has tweaked a little bit for me. When we've seen their power plays, and you guys have heard me complain about it enough, or sorry, penalty kills them complain enough, is you see this. What they're doing now is it's more of this. And what I mean by that is it's the offside forward. Like tonight, I saw Tyler Sagan out there. Foxa does it. The offside forward would always, when the puck would be on the other side of the ice, the offside forward wants to back away and be more concerned, it seems like to me, to the guy on the far side. And whether it's an Ovechkin kind of area or whatever. And then what they do is they leave things open in the slot. And that's where, for me, that's where too many chances are coming from. and I see defensemen get spread out. So what I felt they did tonight is they tightened the inner slot area up more, especially with the backdoor guy. And the teams are watching that, and all of a sudden they change. They say, listen, if you can get it here, here, and here, we can get it back and we can get that shot. Where Wyatt Johnston gets that shot at his. Now, Wyatt can get it away when he can have guys around him. So I just felt that they were, and the other thing is they're a little bit more selective of when they take off and start flying at defensemen that are standing there looking at you at puck, because I felt like they were just chasing and they'd be 15 feet away. So all you're really doing is you're getting pulled away from somewhere, and then the puck is moving past you. And now it's just the quickness thing of when you have power plays that can move it around like a Dallas power play. So now, to me, they stayed a little bit more compact. And when you're more compact, you're just going to get hit by more pucks because they're now in those shooting lanes a little bit more. So, and I felt like Bork would, when he was out there, Blackwell, especially when they play the offside, they just get a little loose and they leave that. But again, I think that they watch it enough on tape. So I'm guessing that would be something that they're trying to limit, is that shot that gets across there. And if you play tight enough, you make it more difficult for puck. If it's going to get over there, it's got to go around the box. And again, your biggest enemy when you're on the power play is who? The clock.
Yourself.
No, your clock.
And yourself.
Exactly. It's the clock.
Yeah.
And so, and because now when a clock starts getting down to 30, 15, 20 seconds in there, now you start forcing things. But as long as you can keep them moving that puck around, Dallas does it. Dallas moves around the perimeter like a lot, but they have pinpoint passing, and what they do is they rotate guys in and out. So you'll see Wyatt in there. Then you'll see you might see Mikko very rarely, but Hintz will pop in there, and Robo will pop in there. So they have guys moving around a lot in there. But anyway, that's to me what the change was tonight, and I think a little bit is their power play.
Yeah, and then the other thing, like on that, to me, like I'm watching this game tonight. And I'm watching the penalty kill, and I thought this was a really good example of there are certain tweaks the Stars have to make in the defensive. Not a ton, but I thought tonight was a really good example of the defense playing to the goalie they had in net. Like I think Casey was very good tonight, but I also think there's elements of, because of the size and aggressiveness within Casey's game, there's times where he spends a lot more time out on the top of the blue paint than Jake does, right? If you watch Jake, there's a lot more times where Jake is deeper in the crease. And I think there's a lot of times, particularly when Casey's in net, where if you don't pick up that backside forward, if you don't pick up if you don't pick up the kind of the weak side stuff there's more opportunity for the opponent to take advantage of it. And I'm watching that tonight, and it's part of it, the entire team being better on the penalty kill. For me, I'm watching that just with a little bit more of the goalie lens of like, okay, they're playing the way that needs to be played in front of Casey. And I think that's a really, to me, that's another kind of takeaway I took from this performance of, you can adjust things, and they should play that way in front of Jake too. But it's even more important when you have your goalie it has to have his toes out on top of the blue and everything like that.
Sean, do you think they play different when Otter's in the net?
I think they do sometimes. I don't think it's by design. I think it's to be clear, I don't think the coaching staff is telling them to play different. I do think that there is a natural, I think there's a bit of the natural, you button up a little bit more for your backup. There's a little bit here. I think it's a little bit more of the emotional side of it, as opposed to I don't think Elaine or goalie are going and telling them to do something different. I think it's a little bit more of what happens because of players reading on things. That's just my working theory.
Well, are you basically saying that they can play a little bit more aggressive because Jake can maybe come up with a bigger save than Casey does?
And Jake, and because Jake plays deeper in the crease, there's a little bit more time for that. He has a little bit more time where if his reads aren't exactly perfect, he's already there a little bit. Casey's reads have to be more exact with how aggressive he plays. I mean, it's a good example, right? Like the goal that Casey let up in the first period where Montour banks it off of him, that's a goal that Jake doesn't allow. But there's also some saves that Casey doesn't make in this game if he's not playing that way. It's the kind of the yin and yang with him of, for him to have success, he has to be that aggressive. but then there's also going to be some different flaws in his game, and that's something that stood out to me. So
yeah, Sean, that leads to more scrambles, right? Because if Casey
does,
has to be exact with his movements, and as you said, he's on top of the crease. As soon as that one pass does get through, that's when he gets spinning a little bit, and he can be really good at it. I give him a lot of credit when he gets scrambling. He can be good, but it's not ideal to have your goalie spinning around back and forth. So I think that's where the differences come in, right?
Yeah.
Guys, we knew it was going to happen, and we'll do our breakdown in our next segment, but we knew that Jason Robertson wasn't going to score in every game for the rest of the season. I was watching the game with my older son, Leighton, who was with me the whole time. My younger son was in and out of this room because his mother was watching the new Stranger Things, and so obviously his pull was being split between watching the hockey game and watching that. And my oldest was just rooting hardcore for a robo empty net goal in that last minute or so. And he never really got a chance. Miro had one. I like that Josh called it Essa Lindell range, because that's usually where Essa will fire it in. But aside from the fact, oh geez, the chat is making me laugh, by the way. Don't read it, Sean, because first they said you were on dial-up internet, and then they said you're now our war correspondent because you don't have consistent connection to the civilized world.
I'm in.
That's Corporal O'Reilly.
I'm sitting in the middle of nowhere, Ohio right now.
Yeah.
And,
does it look like a war zone out there?
It's 25 degrees and the wind and snow are blowing around. So I might as well be
on that.
Valley Forge right now. So it's,
but I'll bring it back to the point though, was just like Jason Robertson continuously looks dangerous, and he doesn't need to be on a goal streak to do what he does. I don't think this is going to be a setback for him. Now, if it turns into 2 to 4 to 6 and 7 or so, then it starts to get in a guy's head. But honestly, I think he's going to be flying for the next little bit because of what just happened over the last 7 games.
Yeah, I don't think he's not having panic attacks right now. He'll be fine.
But I did think it was kind of interesting that the last game until before tonight that he didn't score a goal in was at home against the Seattle Kraken. So he bookended a 7-game goal streak with the Kraken. But that's you guys had some great points about this team. That is their identity. They have to suffocate games because they just don't have the offensive firepower. So I want to ask you guys about that. I know we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the Stars and the way that they found ways to score and held off, but when you look at the Seattle lineup and you're looking at where are the big guns here, right? Matty Beniers is a good player, but tonight I didn't think that he looked like he was dominant. Jordan Eberle is a very skilled player. I thought Mason Marchment was exceedingly quiet for most of the night, except for the one time where he mouthed at the referees on camera, "What did I do?" as he was getting into shenanigans with Sam's favorite player, one of Sam's favorite players. Sam has a long list of favorite players.
They're the same player.
Justin Ritzkovian, Nathan Bastian, Casey DeSmith,
Brendan
Smith, now of the Columbus Blue Jackets. But anyway, I didn't think Chandler Stevenson looked like his usual speedy, blaze up the ice self. I think, I find myself wondering what Shane Wright is going to become because he was so highly sought after. So I guess my question to you guys is, what's your thoughts on this roster now for the Kraken? Because they clearly are in a different level than where the Stars are at as far as organizational depth.
That's better for someone that cares about the Seattle lineup than me.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say is they need scoring.
Right.
Even if the guys you just mentioned were playing a little bit above where they're playing right now, they still don't have what was it? Was it McCann that had the huge year for them?
Yeah. I mean, if he could stay healthy, he's a legit goal scorer for them.
Yeah, so
but
he's their
but they
big
need
guy.
more than that, right?
Yeah, they can't rely on him. And then as soon as he's not, even if he is scoring 45, let's say, that's still not enough with the rest of the lineup. And we've seen, as Sean just mentioned, they have to play that exact type of game and win 2-1 or win 3-2. You can't sustain that. Maybe in the playoffs it'll work, but you still got to find a way to score.
And their power play has to be more effective.
I think they're going heavily
18th.
after some forwards if they believe that they are a playoff team.
To me, their biggest problem is Matty Beniers has become a very good player. And I thought he was very good in his overall details tonight. Shane Wright has been a good player.
He's on their third
And then-
line.
Yeah, no, I know, but like so here's the problem. And this is something where you talk about the benefit of what's happened with the Stars, and the Stars drafting guys in that range, and they're turning into Wyatt Johnston, or I mean, Logan Stankoven's in Carolina now, but you're drafting.
But he became Mikko Rantanen.
He
in a way.
became Mikko Rantanen. Seattle's problem is, and like my good buddy Everett Fitzhugh, who we had as a guest on this show in August, like him and I had lunch a couple.
He's
weeks
their radio
back,
broadcaster for Seattle.
Yeah, and Everett and I were talking about this, where the problem for Seattle is they have all the supplemental pieces. You have all these guys where if you were to import a superstar and put him on top, you'd be like, hey, this is great, right? Like it's funny. It's really funny to look at these two games the Stars played, right? Tell me, if you're Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, if you could be put with the Kraken roster, wouldn't you be thrilled? Right? Just just seriously, right? Like, just take the Stars past 24 hours. We're talking about Edmonton, and we're talking about Edmonton the other night. We're talking about, well, who are you going to get? Where are you going to get these guys? Where are you going to get the supporting pieces? Where are you guys going to put in the work? Where are you going to get the guys that are going to play D? Where are you going to get this? Where are you going to get the goaltending? Everything Edmonton is missing, Seattle has, and everything Seattle is missing, Edmonton has. So basically, if the two could just merge into one, they'd win the cup. So,
is it the Seattle Oilers or the Edmonton Kraken?
TBD.
That doesn't make sense on either side. So I'm gonna say no. All right, let's talk about some DLS ads, and then when we come back, we'll talk about some goals here on the DLS Stars postgame show.
What kind of dreams did you guys have when you were a kid? For me, hockey player, maybe. I think I wanted to be a race car, but not the driver, but the actual car itself when I was really little. But when I grew up, I also wanted to be in sports, whether I was playing or now when you realize you can't play, doing something else. It allowed me to think about starting my own business, which I did, and it led me to the boys here at DLS. If you guys could start your own business, I'm curious what you would do. You could use Shopify because that is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the United States. Shopify even powers the DLS merch store. You can get a Jamie Benn shirt. You can get a Mikko Rantanen shirt. You Finish Mafia, any of our shirts, Face-Off Collection, and you can get them 30% off right now as a diehard. Black Friday coming up. Lots of good stuff. Shopify has got you covered with website creation, product descriptions, email and social media marketing, and plenty more. They also have AI tools designed to help you maximize your sales. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity.
Thank you, Sam. Let's talk about Game Time. You can use Game Time to get tickets for everything: sports, music, comedy and theater, things like the World Cup in 2026. I'm sure that'll be a great way to get your favorite tickets if you are going to try to get to any of the games at what will be known as Dallas Stadium, even though it'll be in Arlington, but that's beside the point. And more recently, like today, because now it's after midnight, Thanksgiving, Chiefs, Cowboys at the same Dallas Stadium, but now it's called AT&T Stadium. Those tickets are not necessarily inexpensive, but you can find them on the Game Time app or going to their website, gametime.co. You can also find tickets to Utah Mammoth at the Dallas Stars, where they will debut their 99 jerseys, the new alternate thirds for the Stars. And there are some very good deals. Look, the Stars are a premium event. They've had a long sellout streak. You're not going to find $5 tickets, but if you want to find your best deals that you can, go to Game Time. They've got lower bowl seats that you can find in the top 1% of value, and it is a great service to have. I've used it. Sam's used it. Game Time is something you just have to have. So what do? Well, it's easy. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets and all those others I mentioned with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code DLLS for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. And Sam, what time is it?
Game time and also late time.
It is. I just did that for old time's sake because
Is the $20 off? Is that in U.S. currency or Canadian currency?
U.S.
Like, if I was to try to buy a ticket in Canadian currency somewhere, would I then get an additional whatever the exchange rate is for the $20 off?
That sounds like a wonderful question for our partners at Game Time. So I would refer to you to their wonderful support customer service team, which, by the way, our ad's done, but they have top-notch service. They will surely be able to answer that, just like I was able to find great seats at a Boston Red Sox game with Game Time. And I'll tell Sean all about it later, but let's talk about this one. All right, first period, first goal. It was the 49 seconds in. Alex Petrovic high-sticked Jared McCann, who had missed 17 games with a lower body injury. They're all excited to get him back, and of course, he takes a high stick, and he has to go for repairs. He lost a large chunk of a front tooth tonight, fellas. He actually said that as he was trying to battle for the puck, the next thing he knows, his tooth is in his throat. And then he got another high stick, according to Curtis Crabtree, who covers the Kraken. He caught another stick, McCann did, in the game later in the same spot. It said it's a pretty sensitive area right now. All being said, great penalty kill by the Stars to really limit, as we talked about in the last segment. And then it was the previously detained Alex Petrovic that set up Roope Hintz's goal to make it a 1-0 Stars lead. Luds?
You remember, didn't Petro take a shot from the very same place 3-4 games ago and hit somebody in the slot? I don't know if it was Robo coming through there. This to me was the identical play. And Petro's getting some confidence out here. He gets his head up. And I think it was Stevenson that was standing next to Hintz, who did nothing. And because the first thing I thought, there's no way that's a defenseman, because he doesn't even look at Roope here. But it was Petro with that. What's that?
Look at that space they give Roope. He's got 4 defenders around him, and no one's within 3 feet.
Sam, that's only because we've been listening to Luds talk about interior space for 2 years.
Yeah, for me, and again, nice tip by Roope, but I just felt that Petro, again, with his head up out there at the point, he just hesitates for a second. He allows Hintz to get out into that slot area, and it's a perfect shot and a perfect tip.
The 1-0 lead is exactly, we talked about it earlier. I mentioned that they didn't have to chase the game because it was the Kraken that had to answer. Brendan Montour did do that, though, as he scored on a rebound from the right corner. And Sean, you were talking earlier about Casey having to be more aggressive to be successful in his crease. And I wonder if that's kind of what happened on this play from Brendan Montour from the corner, from an angle that frankly shouldn't go in, but he has to make other moves.
It's now let's give credit to Montour for making a smart play on recognizing that there's the chaos and the goalie's getting back to his spot and everything like that. It's one of the weird spaces from Casey's spot as a goalie where it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, where when that puck is fired, you're actually trying to get out of the way of it, right? Like it's one of the few sequences where so often in a 99% of your life you're focusing on getting in the way of things, but it's the one where once that puck gets thrown that way, if you can't make the clean catch with a glove and you have read the angle like that, you're trying to get back so it gets past you. So it's like that's the weird chaotic part of that play. So it's a bit of a weird wonky one. It's one that Casey in that spot more so because of how aggressive he plays and has to play because of his athleticism and his size. But I also I want to give credit to Montour for the recognition on the play here that it's like you look at Casey's pad. Just hold it right here, Ryan. It's he's trying to
avoid that, isn't he?
Yeah. He's trying to avoid that, right? He's gotten to the post. He knows once he's got to the post, it's not going in directly. So the back door he's left to the defender, which is actually semi-covered here. He's trying to get out of the way of it, and it's just a weird one. So it's one of those that's, as I said, there's other saves that Casey made in this game because of his athleticism and his play reading and everything that I'm happy to you're happy to understand that's who your goalie is, and I'm okay with that. So it's a tough break.
Ryan, go back to that last shot you had there.
Yeah.
And you brought this up earlier.
Yeah.
But talk about Dallas' side and talk about Seattle's side. I'm trying to keep talking here until Ryan can pull that shot up.
That was high level vamping.
There we go.
This one right here. Yeah.
But look at where the players for the Stars are, and look at where the players are for Seattle.
Look at that perimeter.
That's my point. And you wonder why they're having a hard time. And then again, I look at where the Dallas players are now. Now they're getting into the area of the ice that you don't want to give up. And sometimes these kind of goals are just going to go in. I mean, Montour is kind of in the Leon Draisaitl neighborhood here with this kind of shot.
Goodness.
Similar to that. But again, this to me tells the story of why is Dallas doing so well 5-on-5, and and when you talk about Seattle, it's because this is how they're on the perimeter.
And it's from another perspective of Montour here. This is an impressive shot too. You talk about the Draisaitl spot, but Draisaitl's a lefty in that spot. That's a righty taking that shot, right? Like at least as a lefty, you've got the little bit more of the angle. This is this only goes in if it goes off something and goes in. Let's be clear on that. You're not scoring directly from there, but this is a smart play by a smart player, and it's once again, like if this Seattle team had a couple forwards that could carry the load, they'd be a really, really good hockey team. So
they're missing a couple of high-end Mikko Rantanen type players, which are hard to find, which is why Jim Nill went out and got him one. Speaking of Rantanen, he had a huge chance right after the Montour goal where he dangled it right across the crease, held delayed to the backhand. Kind of reminded me of the Nazem Kadri shootout goal the other night in Calgary where he outweighted and then went under the bar. But boy, did Decord make an excellent glove save on that. And then follow it up with Alex Petrovic. I think Jaden Schwartz scores on an open net from the right circle. If Petro doesn't block that shot, that looked like that was going in because Casey was not where he wasn't there. He was coming across from the other side.
Good thing they're not playing man on man. He wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, right.
I love it. Second period, the Essinator Essa Lindell on his own rebound, joining the play, watching what Montour and later Vince Dunn would do and says, hey, I can do that.
Yeah. How many times have we seen Essa? He's got no fear about what's on back behind him. So I think Essa is just a smart player. That's all it is. And he recognizes, what's ahead of him, and he knows what's behind him, and he knows he has somebody behind him. So he comes in and picks this little play up here. But, there's a couple things here. And if it isn't for Ritzkovian coming into this area right here, and I'm not sure if this is Larson or Dunn in this area. I think it's probably Larson. But there's a little bit of a battle with the puck here. With both of these guys get their stick on it, and it just happens to pop over to Essa, and he gets it back again, and he just taps it in.
I love Luds how Essa jumps into the rush because it's not like another defenseman where you see him flying in. They're calling for the puck. They're clapping their stick on the ice. Essa almost is just invisible as he just kind of floats into the middle, and then all of a sudden he's right here by the side of the net scoring a goal. And I think he is surprised by it sometimes too, which is why he's always got that goofy smile on his face after he scores. But I just think it almost throws teams off where you're like, all right, that guy can't be going anywhere dangerous. Look at him. He looks like he's just a passerby.
I don't know how many times I look at that play, how that puck ended up coming over there, because they both kind of clicked their sticks at the very same time on the puck, and that's what just hung around there, and it comes perfectly to him.
And that Sam really loved this because not only did Essa score, but he immediately got a Justin Ritzkovian hug. So it's just like Sam's daydream, like, college hockey and hugs and goals. I love it. Speaking of which, we go to the third period, and it was looking a little dicey to start because on the very first shot, Vince Dunn scores. And I want both Sam and Sean to talk about this because I saw this. They didn't show a lot of great replays on the Dallas broadcast that we were watching at Victory Plus, but this was at the top of the circle. And I just wonder, okay, the one for the corner, we kind of talked it out. Should this have gone in on Casey DeSmith?
I think two things can be true on this. I think it's a bit of a whiff. I think it's one where it's one of the hilarious statements about goaltending. Someone says a goalie wants that one back. Goalies want all of them back. So
Of course they do.
We need a better phrasing for
Well,
all of that.
wanting it back is
yeah.
just a nice way of saying that's not a good goal, and we're trying to be
Yeah.
polite.
Yeah, I mean, this one is it's an interesting play because of it's a shot with pace on the rush, comes across the body of the defender, which I believe is Jamie Benn here. And it's a really good play by Vince Dunn, right? Like, Luds, how often do you teach your U18 kids, hey, if they're going to give you the screen to use it, right? So it's a really good play by Vince Dunn here. I think Casey would like some better execution. But again, I want to give some credit to Vince Dunn here on the shot selection, the shot creation, and recognizing that you have a little bit of you can use not the full screen, but you can go across the grain. You can kind of add that, which you're not getting a better shot with like pause it right there, Ryan. Like, look at this zone entry. It's 1-on-5. There's nothing else he's going to do here. So like full credit to Vince Dunn for recognizing this is the highest danger thing that's going to possibly happen on this entry. So
yeah, and Sean, you said it key. The against the grain was the key, right? He pulls that into his skates, shoots it not only against the grain, but I think it goes in like the little triangle between Ben's skates and his stick, and that's Ben is turning sideways. That there's no way Casey gets a completely clean read on that, because you can tell by the way he looked at it. He's not just saying, "Oh man, I should have gotten that." It's kind of like, that just didn't go as we wanted it. I would have liked it better here, and I would have liked it better on my own. I think that's the best way to look at it.
Yep.
So I know we like Vince Dunn, and I've heard Luds talk about it a lot. I couldn't help Luds as I watched him score that after thinking about whether or not is that a goal we want to give Casey some grief for or not. Do you think Doug Armstrong regrets losing Vince Dunn in that expansion draft? Is that a player he would like to have right now? I mean, some of the other players they had at the time were higher than him on the pecking order, but boy, the Blues could really use another puck moving offensive defenseman, couldn't they?
What year was that? What was that?
21, wasn't it?
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
So Dunn was there when he won the cup. When they won the cup.
In 19.
19,
yes.
wasn't it? 18, yep. 19. Yeah, I think Army can live with it right now. He got that up, and but again, Army's the kind of guy, he knows he's got to give up something to give something, and but I'm sure looking at where they are right now, he's probably Monty too. He's probably thinking we could use that guy back here.
Yeah, but the same space too. I think it's like, it's one thing to go and to break it down that way, but they replaced him with Philip Broberg, right? He made the move.
True.
To like it's one of those like kind of
and like, Broberg's a good player for sure.
Yeah, like
but I don't think I appreciated Dunn, Sean, nearly enough.
Yeah,
for how much, because he wasn't getting top billing as the quarterback of the power play, and then we see him in Seattle and go, wow. When given the opportunity to grow into a bigger role, he seized it, and he's definitely one of their leaders.
Yep. All right, let's take it to an ad break, Owen.
All right, let's do it here on DLS.
Well, let's see. I'm thinking this may be the face-off collection. And if everything goes according to plan, these are going to be sold out soon, and we'll probably never have to read this again, I'm guessing.
Oh, we'll come up with another shirt, lads.
Oh, yeah, we'll come up with something, but, and don't forget, 30 to 90% off. I'm not sure when this all takes place. When's this over? Tomorrow? Next day?
No. This is available right now for diehards only.
No, but when's it over?
Black Friday begins on Friday, thus tomorrow, and I believe it will probably roll through Cyber Monday, which is next Monday.
Kind of what I was getting to. When is it over? Okay. But they're running out. Didn't Ben tell us there's very limited shirts left?
Basically, he said they've restocked everything so you can get your favorite shirts, but they'll go fast, so don't wait.
Okay. Next.
So, and Sean, you can tell us about being a diehard.
So
And
first,
why-
let's go to the
Hold
let's
on,
go to
buds.
the let's go to the amalgamation.
Yes, he's got the
There we go.
shirt.
So we
Oh,
got the
man.
the amalgamation here. I'm just gonna put it right. I'm just gonna zoom in on that as opposed to seeing my
Nightmare.
face right now.
Sam, that is
So-
a troll directly at you.
Nightmare.
This is the you can become a diehard. You can get a wonderful shirt like this, and you can be the embodiment of this. You can be the embodiment of the person who is a victory green, whatever we call the Mavericks nose thing with a cowboy hat on it and a Rangers flag. You can be a diehard, and you can scan that QR code right there.
We're
And
a good salesman, aren't we?
yeah, we're it's, and when you become a diehard, you get access to the Discord, you get access to the early sale Luds talked about, you get access to Sam's wonderful writing, you get access to everything. And on top of that, there's also a fun free thing where how fun would it be for you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning to open your email inbox, you're trying to avoid work, and there's that DLS newsletter right there. alldls.com/newsletter. You should go check that out. You get that in your inbox every single morning, every single weekday morning, and it makes you happy. So become a diehard, sign up for the newsletter. What better way to do it? So
I love it.
That's what
All
I've
right,
got.
let's talk about the game-winning goal. Vladislav Kolyachonok gets his first as a Dallas Star, first since it was last December he was playing with the Utah Hockey Club. I almost called them the Utah Kraken for some reason.
I heard that.
They're not yet the Mammoth.
Edmonton Kraken.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, that's right.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes,
I
yes,
forgot.
yes.
I knew that first segment.
It's an
So-
algorithm.
Nope, not right. Wrong word. That's okay. So Kolyachonok scores for the first time in almost a calendar year. And then in the post game, the Stars tweeted out the old photo, right? Somebody has a big part of it. And he actually kind of smiled. Not much. A little side. I mean, he's not a big cheesy kind of guy, but walk us through this goal, guys. Anybody want to say anything about Kolyachonok scoring off a play that I think everybody on the ice touched the puck?
I think it's pretty simple. That Larson screens Joey to Turco, and he doesn't see it, and he realizes it as soon as it goes in the net. I think it's pretty simple because this is no bullet. This is just someone getting the puck to the net like you're supposed to from the point. Nobody's basically in the white jersey screening the goaltender, and again, that's the way I see it. I think that there's a little screen here by Larson.
What'd you think about the way they kind of put the defensive zone for the Kraken in the blender, because they were, sort of cycling and basically lulling them into opening up a chance for Kolyachonok to take that shot?
I think it was the game plan before the game on. I think Gully walked into the room at like 6:30 before the game, whatever local, and said, "You know what, guys? Third period tonight,
This
we're
isn't
going to
serious at all. This
We're
is
gonna
not
lull them into
serious. I could
sleep
tell
and
as soon as you used
then-
my name, I knew
and then-
you were completely full of sugar honey
then-
iced tea, and
and
that
then,
we should not listen to a word you say on this
Here
one.
comes our
40
10th best defenseman to win.
We're
it for
gonna
us.
we're gonna set up the shot for 44 wants the ball in the big moment, so we're going to him. So just be ready for it. So
Perfect.
Hey,
Sean's
they
gotten
needed-
into his in-laws' booze behind him.
They've needed all of them, right? Though, like I think
yes,
Capobianco was playing with pretty much everybody at some point. Petrovic was playing a bunch of minutes. It works out well that he scores because they have needed every single one of their defensemen this season.
All right, guys,
on a serious note though, Owen, like we talked before the game. Seattle, they get all of their offense from their defense. They were third in the league right now in goals for defensemen. They scored their 14th and 15th goals by defensemen this season. I think Washington and one other team has more than them. So it's fitting in a night where when Seattle does score twice by defensemen, obviously with Montour and Dunn, that the Stars get a goal from Lindell and you get one from Kolyachonok and everything like that. So it's a fitting way to beat Seattle this way. So that's my serious commentary for tonight. So
Christopher in the chat just said that he is he was in Seattle and on a light rail full of very, all caps, dejected fans after that game. So there you go.
You should unplug the headphones and just have our show blasting through the speakers.
Just do the your FaceTiming on speaker
Yes.
for everyone
yes,
to know.
yes.
I love it.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the super chats for tonight, as this one ends up with the Stars beating the
bang.
Kraken 3-2. I Love Misty, 1985, with a Lindell and a Ludwig. That's one of my favorites, actually. In some ways, tonight's game was more satisfying than last night's win. The Stars were on the second half of a back-to-back and played like it at times, yet found a way to pick up 2 points in another regulation win. Last night was showy and fun. Tonight was mature and reasonable, right? These are the affordable, comfortable shoes that gets the job done. Last night was the stiletto heels or something like that.
It's exactly how fittingly it's. Last night went into Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. It is showy and fun. That's typically how you spend the Wednesday evening before Thanksgiving. And then you want to make sure you're all classy and buttoned up and not get into the wrong discussions actually on Thanksgiving dinner. So be like the Stars, all of that. So do that.
I'm gonna wear a tie.
Yes.
No, you're not.
No, he's not. No.
Just me and Katie. So
Yeah, but you don't wear ties.
that's fair.
All right, next one is.
Ties in hockey.
I still haven't figured out how to say this one. ER93OS. Essa the Suppressa. Moose with the Stonewall with a DeSmith and 99 cup year. Next one is Justin Wilhoit with a Heiskanen and 99 cup year. Can't wait to see the 99s on Friday. Hintz passed on 2v1 in the first that got intercepted. Seems like Roope does this often. Why won't he shoot more? He did score a goal tonight, but do you think he defers too much?
I don't know. I don't know if he defers too much. I think it's tough for Hintz with his speed sometimes because I think because he's moving at Mach 1, a lot of times he either isn't getting the puck, like a Robo, Wyatt, those kind of guys that kind of buy their ice, Tyler Seguin, they buy their ice where they can get into that and they don't exit that good shooting area. I think we see Roope score more goals after he's blown by the goaltender and they recover the puck and then he comes out to the front of the net.
Yep.
And again, he's not afraid of standing in there. He stands in there and he scores his goals that way.
Next one, also from ER93OS or whatever we're supposed to pronounce that. Give us a hint on that at some point. I'd love to say it properly. With a
93 Oz. I got it.
With a Lindell and a Rantanen is a player's plus minus career stat, not game to game, a worthwhile stat to consider. If so, then Essa's is insane. Sean, I know we talk about advanced stats quite a bit. I still think plus minus over a large sample has some meaning, more so than an individual game. Although,
yeah.
Let's spend a lot of time talking about being +5 in Montreal back in the day too. So you're still going to pat yourself on the back if you go +5 in a game.
I mean, Craig. Okay, let's also be very clear on something. Craig Ludwig was +79 for his career, so that's
because
2
I
times
played with really, really good players and really, really good goaltenders. Patrick Roy, Eddie Belfour. There you go.
but I mean, it's pretty good. So I think it's better to be. Is plus minus the greatest advanced analytic? No, but it is also. It's not bad to have a good plus minus. That's always.
It's pretty good for never having your skates touch the offensive blue line.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the next one, which is Craig's Buttwig with a Lundqvist in year after the cup. The passing sequence on that last goal was beautiful. How about our bottom six so far? I love it. DeSmith too. Avs are flashy, but we are looking sturdy.
It's a good word for it.
That's a good word to use. Sturdy.
Yeah.
I mean, with the group of defensemen that are there doing their, filling in for whoever is going to come back in there next, I think they're doing a good job.
All right,
Nils Lundqvist, Matt Duchene, Thomas Harley.
Yep.
Or who are those people, Sam? Who are those people?
Next one is from
they're on the
Chaotic.
Start. Maybe we'll play again.
We have Heiskanen and Rantanen. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Chaotic.
Yes,
Kevin has two,
Thanksgiving.
a Heiskanen 99 and then a DeSmith and 99 cup year. This one is Lud's. This will be the long one, but I'll read the other one too. What did you see tonight about the defensive play that really stood out? You know what? It's late, guys. This is a question for overtime. So thank you to our television viewers tonight. Make sure to like and subscribe here and go to alldlls.com. It's overtime.
Hey, at least the game didn't go to overtime.
There's no way Ryan has that screen ready for StreamYard. But anyway, all right, Luds, what did you see tonight about the defensive play that really stood out? Felt tight and aggressive tonight. Time on ice was also interesting.
I think they're reading the situations a lot better. I think they're starting to grasp where they're supposed to be and what, Gully and the new coaching staff is asking them to do. Again, I use the analogy you guys have heard before. Like if you had a rope tied to all 5 guys, and when one moves, the other one moves, and you get a certain distance apart. And the bottom line is if you're going to get chances on us, it's going to be from the outside. We know we have good goaltenders, and we try to limit them 10 bell chances. And I think tonight was a good case of it just on the penalty kill. It seemed to me like they're tightening things up, and they're getting into some shot lanes and paying the price to work with their goaltender a little bit better. So it's a simple way to play, but I think it's more about their knowing where they're supposed to be now instead of what they've done in the last few years where they just lock onto someone and they end up getting pulled out of the better areas of the ice in front of their goaltender.
The other one from Kevin was a Casey DeSmith and 99 Cup beer. If you got a drink, cheers. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
My drink is actually empty, but I will still raise a glass. Literally. We'll have to get a refill. But that's it for our super chats. Don't worry. Be happy. That is very appropriate for you, Sam. I like it. Let's wrap this one up with, oh, geez. I love Misty with a bing bong that is spelled improperly on purpose. A Pavelski ding and Ludwig. F yeah, overtime.
How do you pronounce
Oh,
that word?
it's actually
say
it's spelled like Johnny Busick. So Fusick.
Yeah,
Fusick, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, the chief would be very happy with that for sure. We will not be doing anything tomorrow for DLS. It is a holiday. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hope you have a wonderful and safe holiday. And then it's right back to work for us because, well, most of the rest of the company has the day off. Although, I think the Cowboys show probably has to do a show tomorrow because they have Thanksgiving. So Cowboys will be working. I'll probably have it on, but I will not be working.
You don't have the Packer game on tomorrow?
All 3. 1, 2, 3, Luds, one after another. We will just go football
Packers
all
play
day.
tomorrow?
Packers
And the Lions, too.
Packers Lions. Frank Ragnow unretired today.
We will be back for a full day on Friday because the Stars are at home with the 99 jerseys against the Utah Mammoth. It's at 7:00, so a 6:15 pregame show. Sam will be at the AAC, and just like that,
he's going right now.
Walk off his screen just like we do when you do the pregame hits, and there goes his camera. He just left. All right, well, happy Thanksgiving, Sam. Oh, he didn't respond. Guys, thank you very much. Great stuff tonight. Save water, drink beer, says Sean. And, there he is. What was that, Sam?
I was trying to walk off, but you didn't end it. And then Ryan cut my camera because he's nervous about having empty things on the screen.
Yeah, you don't want to get Ryan in trouble for you walking off because he can't control the talent. So.
I would like Sam to pick up his guitar and play us off.
No.
Ooh.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, come on. It's on the wall, Sam. I'm sure your fingers will be sore.
For God's sakes, end this thing, would you?
You guys.
Friday night. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Stars of Mammoth coming up.
Balls, butt cracks, and grundles.
And that.